Kulei. Thank you for your time this morning. All right, so we want to continue, and I understand that the Treasury CS, Henry Rotich, is currently before the Budgets and Appropriations Committee. Let's just cross over there and listen into his presentation.
Things have really changed from the 90s and 2000 now. There are very few conditionalities, because what we have done is to ensure that our national development agenda is aligned with the development country strategies that are developed by development partners. So there is a lot of discussion to harmonize, to ensure that our development agenda is consistent with how the donors look at Kenya. So that has helped a lot of consistency, and by that alone, then we have managed actually to have a lot of donor support. In fact, I think if you look at over the last 3 or so years, the donor support has been huge. If you look at our foreign finance component of our budget, it is now actually has overtaken even our domestic financing in a way. I think we're talking of about 400 to 500 billion per year, with multilaterals alone contributing more than half of that on its own. World Bank and
that is low. How much is grants?
Grants probably would be something like I don't have the numbers, but probably 25 or 20% of that.
Grants.
Yes, grants. The rest are loans. Multilateral loans are very concessional loans. We are talking of World Bank gives you a loan for 40 years with a grace period sometimes of 10 to 15 years. So in a way, they look like grants because they are heavily concessional. They're below market price by one. That is why we go for these loans. And then bilaterals gives us mostly in the form of grants. A few like China, India are more commercial. They're given in terms of loan and a little grants. Then commercial is purely commercial. We through the syndicated loans and the sovereign bonds. So that is how we are. So on the donor funds, I think I've already explained that the reversals. I know, yes, in supplementary one, you're right. We tried as much as possible to reduce the donor support, because we saw what we have put in the budget, over 400 or 400 and something, was huge. When we see our absorption has been something like 45, 50%. So we said, why have a budget that shows huge, very big, and yet really ultimately the actual outcome would be far much less. So we agreed we remove it. But once we did that, we realized again there were some projects which were already at the final stages, and ministries again has also upped their absorption in a way. So in fact, for the next budget, we are now thinking what would be really the good absorption rate to use for budgeting purposes. So when we cut in supplementary one, all the ministries came back again, and even the donors themselves, they said our money is not in the budget. We already cut, so we can't disburse. And some ministries were already ready to disburse, even in energy. For example, like Lotwa Energy. You remember the discussion we had in energy. We allowed them to increase, but later on there was also an increase, and we allowed. So in a way, you might find in supplementary two, again, we have sort of reversed that, but it's just because we didn't have a good handle from the MDS how much they're going to absorb. But when we reach March, April, there is a whole noise and pressure that we need to spend, and we allowed it under 2 to 3 for them to spend regularly, because there is funding already. It's something that